Hello everyone, the Army of Otters here, and welcome back to Unexplored Skyrim. Today we're going to be checking out Hamvir's Rest, which is right next to Dustman's Cairn. Now, this location is pretty small, however there's a really kind of cool story and AI and reference here, but it can be kind of difficult to find or to trigger. But we're going to go ahead and try to get it to trigger and also, obviously, check out the location. And as you can see here on the world map, it is just south of Morthal and is just northwest of Whiterun, kind of in between the two, but it's much easier to access from Whiterun. Now, as I was approaching, I found this tipped over cart with all of these cabbages, so of course I had to make this reference.
My cabbages! This place is worse than Omashu!
Not even in Skyrim is the Cabbage Man safe. Now, as we move further up the road, we go past Dustman's Cairn, and we arrive at Hamvir's Rest. There's going to be several skeletons that greet us the first time you come here, so just take them out. They're pretty easy. Eric the Slayer killed most of them. Then there are several graves. These graves are kind of unique within Skyrim. They look kind of scary. They have these really weird tombstones with like blood or something, like making these circles on them. And in the very back, there is a Draugr tomb, and if you approach it, a Draugr will walk on out. So you have to kill it, and it's pretty easy to kill, though, especially if you have a companion. It's just 1 versus 2, and he can never really get out of this corner. Then, next to the Draugr's tomb, there is this master-locked chest. So after wasting some time on it, I was finally able to open it, got some okay loot, so took what I could, and after that, we can admire the beauty of this area. It is very beautiful in the day and at night as well. Now on the left we have this kind of tomb, and we can take this leveled enchanted helmet. It'll be different depending on your level. There's also an iron axe in there. And on the other side, well, there's a small tomb, but there is no weapon, unfortunately. And after that, we can look at the grave some more. There are a lot of alchemy ingredients here, like butterflies, nightshade, and torch bugs. So it's a good place to come if you need some ingredients. Now, the main thing at Hamvir's Rest is the Headless Horseman. A Headless Horseman will randomly spawn somewhere in the world and make his way to Hamvir's Rest. He spawns during the nighttime between 10 p.m. and 4 a.m., and he can pretty much spawn anywhere in the area, but he is often seen between Rorikstead and Whiterun, running on his horse. However, I waited and I waited and I waited, and I just kind of waited here at Hamvir's Rest, hoping he would show up, but he never did. I waited quite some time, and he never came. So after that, I decided to travel along the road. I went to Rorikstead, Whiterun multiple times, and I had no luck. I wasted a lot of time doing this, trying to find him, and I had no luck. So originally I was going to make the video without showing the Headless Horseman. But the next day, I decided I would give it one more try, and this happened. So we got really lucky. The time was probably about 1 a.m. and I found the Headless Horseman running from Rorikstead towards Hamvir's Rest. And there was this skeever that was trying to attack us. But as you can see, the Headless Horseman kind of got stuck on this bridge, but he just kind of walked and turned it around in a circle, and he was well on his way. I decided to ignore the skeever because I didn't want to lose the horseman. I wanted to follow him all the way to his, well, resting area, I suppose. And we ran past the cabbages, and using some bottles of stamina, I could easily keep up with him on foot. And then he just stops here in front of Hamvir's Rest and disappears. Kind of anticlimactic, but yeah, at least I found him, and at least I could show him to you in my game. He is a bit difficult to find. It is kind of random, but hey, if you try, you might be able to find him. Also worth noting, he does have a few quotes. He can say things like, "Finality, such an abrupt end to our game when entering Hamvir's Rest. Who dares disturb my rest when you encounter him? You are not welcome here upon entering Hamvir's Rest. All the living shall fear the dead if he's watching the undead being fought." And he might also say, "You will join the dead if he is fighting some kind of enemy." And Hamvir's Rest is likely a reference to Sleepy Hollow, due to the fact that when the Headless Horseman is found at night, he will make his way to Hamvir's Rest before morning, just as the Headless Horseman did in the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. So it is kind of a really cool reference, some cool lore to Skyrim, and a really beautiful place, even though it is kind of a bit creepy. So let me know if you guys have ever encountered the Headless Horseman in Skyrim. How did you find him? Where did you find him? What kind of adventure did you go on with him? He can lead you on some crazy adventures from what I was reading on Reddit. I feel very fortunate to have found him because honestly it was a bit difficult, but hey, if there's a will, there is a way. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. If you have any recommendations for future videos, future locations, please post them in the comment section below. And as always, until next time.